Hey everybody, I'm excited because we finally have some good news throughout this whole pandemic about the economy and starting to see some businesses actually recover. We're starting to see that businesses are planning to increase salaries for employees sooner rather than actually planned. But we're not seeing that for all industries and all employees. So in this video, we're going to dive down which industries and which companies are actually planning to restore salaries faster, which ones are doing better than expected, and which industries are still hard hit and we're not seeing any relief for them yet. Specifically, we're seeing that white-collar professionals have had an easier time throughout this pandemic, whether it be a more secure job, lower pay cuts, or less furloughs and less layoffs. And that's sort of the same case in this scenario as well, where we're seeing that the companies, the larger companies, your typical 9-to-5s, your corporations, those are the ones that are planning to do more pay increases and starting to restore and rehire, bring back those furloughs. Now, for your lower income workers, specifically in hospitality, retail, travel, we're still seeing that they're hard hit and we're not seeing many recoveries for them. But let's dive in and let's look at these specific companies so that we can get a better idea and a better understanding of which industries are starting to come back and do better. The biggest one that's a shocker is Disney. They're actually planning to start to restore some of their executives' salaries this upcoming September when their pay period ends, despite having a nearly $5 billion loss this last quarter. We're also seeing that Yelp, who laid off 1,000 workers and furloughed over 1,100 workers at the beginning of this pandemic, is planning to bring back all of those furloughed workers with full pay restoration and full hours restoration. We're also seeing General Motors, which announced that it was going to trim 69,000 salaries at the beginning of the pandemic, and it planned to repay those salaries in March 2021 with interest. And they're actually now planning to repay those salaries in the fourth quarter this year with interest, due to seeing their company, their business, actually starting to bring back a return better than expected, sooner than expected. We're also seeing the oil producer Occidental Petroleum is planning to now looking to restore executives' pay coming up, as they already previously restored the lower level employee pay back in July. We're also seeing Centra Healthcare planning to restore their employees' pay, as they're now seeing a rise in more elective surgeries. We're also seeing that the larger companies, right, your larger corporations, are planning to do pay increases and pay raises in 2021 around 2.5 to 2.8%. So previously, we normally saw a pay raise of 3%, so it's a little bit lower, but we are seeing that more companies are planning to do this pay raise, as 2020, to give you a reference number, 14% of companies did not plan to do a pay raise, and in 2021, we're only seeing 7%. So we're seeing a large increase in the amount of companies who are actually planning to do pay raises. And even though it's less, it's only 2.5 to 2.8%, that is still okay, because we're seeing that actually inflation is lower than it usually is. So it will all even out. But number 3, let's talk about what we've seen that's been actually helping. What's going on? Why are these companies able to actually restore pay and bring back workers faster than expected? Well, we're seeing that the $2 trillion stimulus package that was passed during the beginning of the pandemic has had a lot of help on helping these companies recoup and rehire employees and restore salaries. Specifically, the payroll protection loans that required employers to keep their employees on salary has really helped them. And we're also seeing that companies that took a severe approach at the beginning of the pandemic by laying off a ton of workers, furloughing a ton of workers, like Yelp, for example, taking that severe approach, while it may have hurt in the beginning, has helped them now survive and make it through this far, in order for business and the market to start continuing to recover, to where they're now able to bring everybody back. And they believe that if they didn't take that severe of an approach, well, they wouldn't have been able to survive. So now we just need to hope that another stimulus package will come along soon, because as we see with the market conditions, coronavirus still hasn't left. It's still having an impact. We don't know what's going on with the unemployment pay right now. So as long as we can get something else on the books to keep the businesses going so that they can survive until the economy recovers and they can continue to bring back workers, we should be okay. But without that, it's going to be risky. So let's follow along. Let's stay in touch with the news, and I'll provide you more updates as I get more good news or bad news. So thanks for checking out the video. Leave a comment, subscribe, share.